Yes, hello everyone. So the transfer window opened yesterday and FIFA have allowed it to open a little bit earlier. Bizarrely though, they've got to close it for 6 days and then open it, which is mental. So the window will close back on the 10th of June, close for 6 and then opens again. I don't get why FIFA just keep it open, but the clubs that are competing aren't allowed to sign during that tournament. Keep it simple. But anyway, the transfer window is open. Callum Wilson is departing Newcastle United. He went round the ground and said his goodbyes. He might be offered a pay as you play deal, easy for me to say. However, I have 5 strikers for you that I think Newcastle should look at for backup/competition to Alexander Isak. Now, I'm not saying go and get Osimhen. I'm not saying go and get Gyökeres. I'm not going to go and say get Sesko, because these are the players that are probably happy to be on the bench, but also bridges that gap with Isak where Wilson's dropped further behind Isak. Now, if Isak was to come out and one of these lads that I mentioned comes in, the gap isn't its drop off as it is previously with Wilson. So I'm going to do it in order, number 5 to number 1. So in 5th place, this lad has bagged goals for fun, and it's Arnaud Calemeondo. Rennes striker, 23 years of age, 5'9", Frenchman who can also qualify to play for the DR Congo for his family. He has 2 years left on his current deal. Transfermarket.co.uk value him at 16.8 million. Now, when you value that, you normally got to hype that up a bit, because normally you've got to stick 10 to 15 million on these kind of figures to try and get him out of the club. However, 17 goals for League 1 sign, finishing 12th in the table. That's impressive. You have to say that. Played for France in the Olympics. As I say, you can represent DR Congo if you want to. Takes penalties. He's not afraid to step up. His pace, he's got strength, he's got unbelievable movement. All of his goals have come from inside the box, and he wants the ball played to him in front all the time. I think this is probably one of the most realistic ones out of these 5 players. Someone who's happy to come in, maybe start 1 and 3 and get cup game competition. Number 4. And it's Johnny Burkhardt. Now, this lad, you might be thinking, who? If you don't watch much Bundesliga football, 6 foot, 18 goals in the Bundesliga for Mainz. That's impressive. Just 1 assist, which tells you he's more about the finisher rather than the creator. Loves it. Fox in the box. Brilliant in the air. Blistering shot power. Outstanding movement. He's captain. He's a leader. He turns 25 in July. Contract ends in 2 years. Transfermarket.co.uk value him at just under 30 million. Again, you'll need to inflate that. And he's picked up 3 caps, his first 3 ever for Germany this season. So he's massively progressed. He's ready to make that next move, whether it's the Premier League or he goes to one of the big boys in Germany, Dortmund, or second choice Harry Kane and Bayern Munich, I don't know. But he is absolutely what Newcastle need in terms of someone who's happy maybe to be on the bench. We can offer him Champions League football, different to Isak, where he needs service. In number 3, and I think this one's a very difficult one to probably get him out, because you'd not want to play a second fiddle, is Matteo Retegui. Now, the lad who's bagged in goals for fun at Atlanta, 25 goals in Serie A. I think he's 6 or 7 ahead of the nearest person, which is quite incredible if you think, because Atlanta's not this glamour club. They have got the Champions League football back again. However, a massive wage increase might persuade him to move to the Premier League, and he'll probably start more often than what you think if he was at Newcastle. Still learning the language. He's Argentinian and he plays for Italy. Scored against England on his international debut. He plays for Italy because of his grandparents. He's come over to Italy and he's blitzed the league with, I think it was Genoa, then Atlanta. 3 years left on his deal. Transfermarket.co.uk value him around 38 million. Again, you've got to inflate that, add another 10 to 15 million on it. He's absolutely lethal in the box. It's instinct. That's when I watch him. He's just instinct. The technique springs to mind as well. He needs service, don't get me wrong. You'll score your different types of goals with headers. He can outmuscle defenders. He's an absolute pest in the box. This lad will go far. He's ready to make the next step, and he'll score goals for fun. He's just a breath of fresh air in this area. 25 goals for Atlanta. Incredible. Can Newcastle get him out? I think this one is probably the hardest one to convince to come to Italy. But, we've got Sandro Tonali, so maybe Sandro, have a word. Number 2, and it's Jonathan David. Again, he's been linked to Newcastle loads of times. This won't surprise a lot of yous that I've got him in this list. Free agent, born in New York, but plays for Canada. He's at the right age, 25 years now, been at Lille for a while. 25 goals in all competitions with 12 assists. Again, that's impressive. Can create goals on his own. Can also get a fox in the box. He can turn. He's got pace. Plays on the line of defenders, good old school striker, takes penalties, great turn of pace, obviously speaks English naturally, so no settling in, difficult period for him, he'll be straight in. However, Lille don't have Champions League and he is on the list of so many clubs across Europe. Could he come to Newcastle? Will he be put off that Isak's first choice? But my God, what a hell of an option this would be for second choice. His wages will be high. However, you'll demand a high sign-on fee, but we're not paying a big transfer fee. I'm excited by this lad. Wherever he goes, even if it's not Newcastle, he'll score goals. And it's not often that North American strikers do well in Europe. This lad is absolutely killing it. He's ready for that next move. And at number 1, a lad who allegedly turned us down in Hugo Ekitike. And you're thinking, oh, I'm a bit surprised by that, Lee. Well, let me tell you why then. Obviously, he was meant to come to us, went to Paris, and they had Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi at the time. Barely got a kick. Went out on loan to Stuttgart, and then joined them permanently, I think it was 6 months later, and he's absolutely ripped the Bundesliga apart. Turns 23 in 3 weeks' time. It's a great age to have him. Yes, he's got 4 years left on his deal at Stuttgart. However, 22 goals this season with 12 assists. Some of his goals and some of his dribbling skills are absolutely breathtaking. He can create on his own. He's uncapped. He hasn't got a France call-up yet, or even Cameroon. He is eligible to play for them. But it'll not be long. It won't be long. Transfer market, .co.uk value made 46.3. You've got to again inflate that. He's probably the highest that will have to pay out of these 5 players up there with Regatui. But can also do a job out wide if it needs be, and that's probably what makes Eddie Howe maybe look at this a little bit more. Unreal close control, as I say, goes past players with ease, easily to burn, deadly finisher. He's my number 1 outside, remember the video what we're doing today, outside of the Premier League, because you can pick your Brian and Wemos who can do a job in 2 positions, so can Semenyo, but I'm talking outside the Premier League, remember that. There was my 5 players, 5 that I would recommend that Newcastle should go and replace Callum Wilson with. 2 or 3 of them are ready to move to a bigger club. A couple of them will be quite difficult to get out the club, but we've got Champions League, we've got wages, we can offer more than all of these players here. But there you go. That's my list. I wonder how you think about that. Do you have any alternatives that you can think of as strikers outside of the Premier League? Get it in that comment there down below. And out of those 5, who would you want to see most? I'm guessing he's going to say Jonathan David because of his free. But obviously it's a big sign-on fee, big wages. But there we're going, everybody. That is my list. See you soon here on Newcastle Fans TV.